So moving on next, we have our next session, which will be on technical documentation in healthcare, and that is going to be taken by Maneet and Manoj. So just get assembled and let's get started.
We'll wait for a couple of minutes. Let Mini come in and then we'll start. Good afternoon, folks. I'm Maneet and he's Manoj.
Hi.
And imagine you all are suffering from a severe backache. That's not funny, guys. It's a very serious thing. You're suffering from a severe backache and you go to your doctor. Okay, your doctor says you need to take an X-ray taken. You book an appointment with a radiologist. You go to the radiologist. He asks you to wait till he gets his X-ray machine ready. You wait for 5 minutes. The radiologist is getting his X-ray machine ready. He is fidgeting with his X-ray machine. On the clock, you're 10 minutes, still waiting. The radiologist has not called you to the X-ray desk. 15 minutes gone. My God, I'm suffering, we all are suffering from severe backache, you're still waiting. The radiologist has not called you. Now you see a couple more people in your room fidgeting with the X-ray machine. 20 minutes pass, couple more people in the room fidgeting with the X-ray machine. Still you're waiting. 25 minutes, you actually see one person is holding a quick reference guide to solve the problem. Perhaps the technical support for the X-ray machine is closed. So he's looking at the quick reference guide, still unable to solve the problem. 30 minutes, you start cursing your stars, you start cursing the doctor, you start cursing all the people out there. But whom do you forget to curse? Is the person who created the quick reference guide, which is slowing down your treatment. So folks, again, I'm Maneet Bhavnani. He is Manoj Joshi. We both have flown down from Mumbai. We work for CTS Tech. It's a healthcare IT company. And overall, we have an experience of around 15 years in the healthcare domain. And welcome to Technical Documentation in Healthcare. The agenda is why documentation in healthcare, what we do, how we do it, and some key pointers. So to take it further as to why documentation in the healthcare domain, I'll pass it on to my friend Manoj out here.
Hey, hello everyone. Firstly, thanks Maneet for giving such a beautiful demonstration of patients. Okay, so now I will be starting with the importance of the healthcare from the business perspective. So can anyone tell me like how much investments are made in healthcare sector in a year? From all over the world. Any rough figures? Anyone? Can you, sir? Sorry? 20% of GDP. Okay. Can you specify the amount if possible? Sorry? Okay. Yes, that is somewhat you are close to it. It is more than 50 billion. You can check net for those figures and it is more than 50 billion. So I was like confused when I really read these figures. Where is this whole amount going into? That whole amount is going into digitalization. This is what digitalization means. And it is like at right now in India, if you go to a doctor, you write everything on the paper and then all the details are stored in a paper format. But if you go to the developed countries like US, UK, there you will find out like all the details are being stored into the electronic format, and that is what digitalization is. So the healthcare companies like us, CTS Tech, GE, many healthcare companies, they develop the applications for the healthcare domain like EHR, EMRs, radiology applications, laboratory applications, pharmacy applications, and many more applications. But as the industry progressed, there was a huge demand for getting the medical professionals getting adapted to using the systems. So, okay, but I think my voice clear? Okay, fine. So there was a huge demand for the medical professionals to be trained on using these systems. So there a demand for a technical writing came into the healthcare. And if the healthcare domain needs to succeed further ahead, there should be a documentation that should be made a critical point into the jigsaw for the healthcare to succeed. So moving ahead, what we do, We do all these traditional documentations like user guides, installation guides, online helps, context sensitive help. I think we all are very much known to all these terms, and you all must be creating those. But as a technical writer, what different do I do? Right? You must be having this question. So as a technical writer, there are two important points of focus that we work upon. The first one is no PHI in the documentation. And second one is the measure specific documentation. So what is PHI? PHI is patient health information. It is a very critical part of an information that has to be secured. There are many laws in US that says like you should not share this information in any form of the document. So we created a process for it, and we made such a thing like there should be no PHI in any type of a documentation. Specifically, I think as a technical writer, we take the screenshots. So we have to be special careful that there is no patient data in those screenshots. As well as if you are creating software simulations, you know anybody software simulations created here? Okay. Good. Software simulation is a video help file, a simple known form. So you should be careful while creating it also that there is no patient data. And if there is a patient data, you need to make it blur. So that is about the PHI. And the next important thing is measure specific documentation. So CQM, that is clinical quality measures. That is a buzzword in US industry, US healthcare industry specifically. What is measures? Or what is this measure specific documentation? Okay, a measure specific is something like in US, if you go to a doctor has to treat you by following certain procedures, and those procedures are called as measures. So you need to follow them. You go to any hospitals in US, every doctor will be following the same procedures if you are suffering with a fever. He will be asking you the same questions, he will be recording that same data into the application, and that same data will be going to the server. So as a technical writer, our role is to write a document in such a way that it helps the doctor to follow the clinical quality measures. That is all about measure specific documentation. So I will pass on this to next segment that will be taken by Mani.
Okay guys, thanks Manoj for telling us what we do at CITIUS Tech, and I'll just explain how we do it. Okay, now it's not very much different from how everyone else does in the other domains, but we do it a bit differently. Okay, out there, everyone knows about this concept, DDLC, Document Development Lifecycle, and these are roughly the standard phases of the document development lifecycle. Now, when you're documenting in the healthcare domain, or when you're documenting for any healthcare applications, there's certain additional steps which you need to add to these standard phases of the DDLC. For example, in the analysis phase. Now, in the medical field, there are doctors, but within the doctors, there's a heart specialist, there's a radiologist, there's a pharmacy guy, so there are various aspects in the medical practitioner levels. So we need to have an in-depth audience analysis as to whom are we targeting. Are we targeting a general physician? Are we targeting a radiologist? That needs to be taken care of when we start our documentation, especially in the analysis phase. Second aspect is healthcare domain trainings. Now, knowledge never kills. More the knowledge, better it is. So guys, whenever you're documenting for a healthcare application, if you undergo healthcare domain trainings, it's very good. Always remember, when you're documenting for healthcare applications, it is affecting human lives. A single mistake might be very critical for a human being. So it's better to undergo healthcare domain trainings. The second phase, structured TOC creation, as Manoj mentioned, instead of documenting it menu-wise, we go ahead and document it workflow based. So we have, as Manoj just mentioned, measure specific documentation. So we document as per the workflow of a physician. So if for example, a general physician, he does these certain steps while treating a patient, our documentation would be that way. Documentation, again, as my friend Manoj said, we need to be totally clear that there's no PHI data in the documentation that we send out. Now the review process. Everyone out here sends documents for reviews. We have a peer review, we have a subject matter expert review, we have product owner reviews, but there's something else. Now, being from a healthcare based company, now we are fortunate to have medical professionals in our organization. So for example, we have a radiologist, we have a general physician, so we have that plus thing of a medical professional reviewing our documents. So if you guys are documenting for healthcare application, if you don't have a medical practitioner at your office, you need to go do the next best thing. And that would be a clear subject matter expert in that particular domain. Together, we have termed this as HDDLC, where H stands for healthcare. So again, guys, a small recap. The analysis phase is where we undergo healthcare domain trainings, which helps us understand certain medical terminologies. In the audience analysis stuff, we look at which type of medical practitioner we are trying to focus. Development phase, again, PHI. Why we have repeated PHI 3 times in this presentation? It is the most critical thing. If you are a writer based out of US and if a document comes through you which has PHI information, that could lead to prison. This MSTP or Chicago style of manual for documentation. Now when you're documenting in the healthcare domain, specifically for the US healthcare, these are two most standards, AMA, American Medical Association, and APA, American Psychological Association. So these are the standards that we need to follow when we are documenting healthcare applications. Okay, so that was from me, and I'll pass it back to Manoj for telling us some very key pointers which we need to understand before documenting any healthcare application.
So guys, let's move on to the key pointers. So primarily, as the key pointer for our STC conference is customer focus, right? For us as a technical writer in healthcare domain, our key focus or the theme is always patient focus. So how do we achieve this patient focus? Firstly, we do this by complete verification of information from healthcare consultants. Secondly, we do a dual testing, that is testers as well as healthcare professionals performs the documentation testing. Third one is no application updates are released without any documentation. That is a must point we have made in our organization. And the fourth point is real-time analysis of documentation and improvements. Like as we get the feedback, we go on improving our documentation and improving the processes as well. So as to conclude, a single mistake in the documentation could be life-threatening for a patient. So as a writer, you need to be extra careful while creating the documentation, and you also need to improve the documentation continuously. And finally, your documentation should improve the quality of the healthcare provided to the patients. Thank you guys. Thank you very much, and thanks for being such a good audience. Thanks. Thank you. Any questions?
Apologies?
Yeah, the terminologies that you use in your talk.
Yes. So, right.
Yeah, I will take it up. Okay. So I'm a physician. I will give you an example. Like it is a big EHR application, and I'm a physician. I'm going to use it. So, and then there are certain medicines that the physician is going to prescribe. So there is a default list of medicine that is present in EHR application for a doctor. So whenever you are mentioning that list into the documentation, you have to mention that list as per the generic names, not as per the brand names. For an example, Crocin is a brand name. Yeah, and paracetamol is the generic name. So doctors in US specify the medicines as per the generic names. So you need to specify that name into the documentation. So that the writer has to be cautious while doing the documentation. Like anything or any specific name of a part of a body part and everything, those also you should know. You should have the information about it. So that helps the technical writer to improve the documentation and think that way, so that it helps the doctor.
User interface, but as you mentioned, it's organized as per the workflow. As a writer, how do you understand how it's done? If you are new in this field, how do you understand?
So again, as I said, office. So we need to understand that these medical practitioners are not technical professionals. So, if you arrange your documentation as per menu, so it would be a bit difficult for them to understand, because when they are at the clinic, the main focus should be treating the patient rather than, if something has gone wrong, trying to solve that stuff. So that's the reason we use that. And answering your question, we have medical practitioners which show us different healthcare workflows. So for example, for a radiologist, so radiologist would have around 10 to 12 workflows. So that is explained to us during the healthcare domain trainings, and that is how we document our all the documents that go out.
So the information is basically organized in use cases. Like if this is a scenario that you are going to encounter, what do you do? So
Absolutely.
you have the entire use cases over
Right,
there.
so we call it workflow, healthcare workflow. Yes, absolutely. If he has healthcare domain knowledge, the better it is. Because again, we need to remember that when you're documenting in the healthcare domain, it is impacting human lives directly. So a single mistake in a manufacturing domain or in a telecom domain may not be that bad, but a single mistake in the healthcare documentation could be very critical for a patient. So undergoing healthcare domain, so there are many certifications. So for example, if a person wants to join a company which is into payer-based healthcare domain, payer-based means insurance companies. So there are certifications like AHIP, American Health Insurance Plans. So that person needs to undergo that certification. So we were in the payer domain, we underwent that certification. We moved to the provider domain, which is the doctors or the hospitals. So we underwent CPHIMS. So different type of certifications we underwent before we started documentation. Thank you. The deliverables are pretty standard, as we saw, user guides, online health manuals, software simulations. It's more of video based because doctors don't want to read much, they want to watch videos. So more of the video based software simulations, e-learning videos, so more of those kinds.
Is your product like for the end user, this is like the doctors and nurses, or is there somebody intermediary who is actually accepting the software? Roll it out.
It's for everyone. So it's for the end users, it's for insurance companies, it's for intermediate people, it's for hospital administrators, it is for nurses. So there are various kind of documentation. Again, I said, we do a thorough audience analysis. So we need to be very specific which audience we are targeting.
But then now when you have these workflow scenarios kind of help, how do you kind of draw the line? Because see, now even in our health system we have several workflows, and I just realized that some of the helps are actually written according to the window, like which windows you have to configure. But how do you draw the line saying, okay, because there are so many scenarios?
See, we draw the line based on the audience who's going to read our document. So if we know that the person is going to be a doctor, it's strictly workflow based. Now if a person is a hospital administrator, now that administrators would be a bit technical. So there we could have some steps of normal procedures like we document in other domains. So it's basically audience analysis is where we draw the line. Yeah.
For the same scenario, you will have multiple deliverables based on different audiences.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And is your documentation published on your website?
Oh no, it's client based, so it's not published.
Okay, so you supply it only to a specific client.
Yeah, so our company is CTS Tech, so we are a Microsoft Gold partner, and I would say at least 10% of the healthcare projects which Microsoft gets comes to our company, and so we cater to around 70-80 clients all across US and Canada. So basically client based. So we don't have a product as such. We use the standard authoring tools, RoboHelp, Madcap Flare, MS Word, FrameMaker. That also, depends on the client, what they want.
Do you have international rules if we want to document some products? Say, for example, if we are serving clients in the US, is there any specific standards that technical writers should know before documenting?
Absolutely, as I just showed it.
One PHI that is very much useful,
Yeah.
but that should be
No, AMA and
American Medical
Yeah.
Association and American Psychological Associations, these two organizations prepare a style guide specifically for the healthcare documentation.
so anyone documenting for US healthcare needs to use these two standards, AMA and APA.
Along with MSD.
This you can download it, you can Google it and you can download it, it's free of cost.
Okay, so I have a question too. So I wanted to know that IT professionals or, as we technical writers work for product-based industries, we learn the product by installing it, getting a test machine. How do you do that?
We do it the same way,
Do you
but
get
in
a
the client
soft
environment.
copy? Like, how do you get, how do you do it?
See, it's like, I'll tell you the projects that come to us. So, for example, there's a client of Microsoft, a hospital which has, come to us. They want an EMR application to be developed by CTS Tech. So, it would run the same way. We'll have Scrum teams. So, one technical writer in each Scrum team. So, there will be development, and based on that, we'll create documentation. So, we'll have access to the application, obviously.
Interesting.
Patient data again.
Yes, no patient data.
Okay, well,
To elaborate on her
Yeah.
question, it's like when you are having the service related to software, but what about the documentation done for products, for the new equipment which come in the medical field?
Right.
The latest X-ray machine as you were just
Right.
demonstrating.
Right.
When you have to do documentation for a new equipment or a new thing which is coming to market,
So-
you will get trained on that.
Right. So, we are into software documentation, so the applications running on the X-ray machine, not the X-ray machine as such. So, it's a software company that, so we look into software projects.
I was just talking about this HIPAA, HL7 and many such guidelines.
Right.
Do the technical writers need to know about those standards?
See, HIPAA, everyone documenting in the healthcare domain has to be HIPAA certified.
Yeah.
That's a must. HL7 is more or less for developers.
Because it is a format, uniform format. Like
Yes.
XML uniform format.
But if you know it, the better it is.
Yeah.
But it's not a must.
But HIPAA, I think you should know.
any more questions?
So both of you been in the healthcare domain for a long time, you mentioned.
Yes.
What kind of challenges have you faced?
Lots and lots, I could go on, we could extend this to 45 minutes more.
No, it's okay, we have time, go on.
Okay, so challenges would be, first learning the healthcare domain. And why, I started from the telecom domain and I came here, I thought it would be a piece of cake. But then, the restrictions you feel when you're in the healthcare domain, the standards and, as he said, PHI. So if your image that you've taken and it had a small PHI information, that could be very critical. And people have been fired because they have PHI data in their documentation. So it's very restrictive, bit tense as well. So challenges have been there. So this was just the tip of the iceberg. So as I said, I could go on and on.
About the PHI, it is also mentioned in service level agreements with the client. When client mentions that.
Right. So if there's PHI data, it could happen that the whole project may go out of the company. So that would have huge financial implications on the company, and that would come down to us.
Let me share one of the experience that I had. I switched over from networking domain to healthcare domain, and in one day, IP had two meanings. One is internet protocol, but next day I deal with inpatient.
Inpatient, right.
That was a very critical moment for me.
So scenarios happen, that's sure.
Anyone else?
Any more questions?
Thanks everyone for being such a
Thank
wonderful
you,
audience.
everyone. Okay, and thank you, Maneet and Manoj. I mean, who knew we could have such a huge impact by our writing in healthcare? One thing here and there, and it could lead to some disaster things. So anyway, thank you very much, and it was a wonderful session. And as a token of appreciation from STC, I would like to hand over the certificate and memento for both of them. Thank you, Maneet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Manoj. Okay. All right, guys, as you know, I have announced earlier, so let's get gathered at Trinity Hall 1. We have some announcements and some recognitions that are taking place over there. And then that will be followed by lunch, and after that we'll meet over here. Thank you.